Hi and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2006, it's a Nissan Sentra. The complaint we have is that the air conditioning does not turn on. It blows out hot air no matter if you adjust it from cold to hot. You know, the switch inside the dashboard, it makes no difference. So the owner brought the vehicle to me, said that the air conditioning compressor is no good. But I'm going to show you how to figure out what the problem is and how to go about repairing it. I did briefly look at it, and I know that the air conditioner is working the way it's supposed to be working, but I'm going to bring you in there. I'm going to show you how to figure out if it's the AC or if it's a problem with the heat, and which one to address so you don't go in the wrong direction trying to figure out what's the failure. So, all right, let me bring you in there. I'm going to show you what to do, and we'll continue. Okay, now obviously we know we have the car running, but I just want to show you this real quick so we can decide whether it's an AC problem or a heating problem. As you can see, the compressor down there, get a light here so you can see better. See that compressor down there? It just turned on. It'll click on, then off as it's supposed to. And down over here in the back, you'll see your AC lines right here. Just grab your AC line and you feel the line. It's nice and cool. So we know that the air conditioner is working, blowing cool air. I mean, the Freon is circulating through the system and it's getting into the evaporator. The heater hoses are warm, which is normal. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go inside the car and I'll show you what the problem is there. Okay. The problem we have, and obviously you can't feel this, but I can. This air blowing out of here now is hot. So what we're going to do is we make sure the AC is on. We're going to turn the control unit to the cool side, which we did, and this is still blowing out hot air. You know what? Let me just grab a thermostat. I'm going to show you what I mean. Hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. All right, so now I'm just going to stick this thermometer inside the vent over here so you can see what I'm talking about. I can feel it, but now you'll be able to see it. All right, so now you can see we're set to the cool side. We're set to the recycling inside the car, and we make sure the air conditioner is turned on. So the compressor is on, and it's recycling inside. We have it also blowing out through the face. As you can see, it's blowing out the vent at 110 degrees. Now we know that the AC is working because those lines leading into the dashboard are cool, right? So we know that the air conditioner is not the issue. So we turn this now to the hot side, and we're going to see if it makes any difference at all. Insignificant change, if any change at all. Now the car is not thoroughly heated up, as you can see. It's only up to a little bit above the normal range. So as you can see, it makes no difference whatsoever. Turn it back to the cold side, and again, nothing. All right, so now what we need to do is we have to go inside the dashboard here, and we have to take a look in the dashboard to make sure that everything with this cable here is working correctly. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look under the dashboard to see if we can see this control cable, whether it's on the passenger side or the driver's side underneath here. So let's grab a light and let's take a look down below. I know you're not going to be able to see very well in here, but we're going to grab this cover right here and we're going to pull this off, and we're going to just take a look inside to see what's going on inside here. Let me put this down for a second. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to take a look inside here. As you can see, we don't see any of the controls in here whatsoever. Let's go around to the passenger side and let's take a look over there. Okay, and as you can see on the passenger side, you don't see anything up in here either. So we can't see the controls that are actually moving the cables inside. So let me just take a peek up underneath there, and I think we're going to have to pull the face off right now. Okay, after looking up underneath there, I can see a control piece, but it's all the way up in the top, and I cannot gain access to it. So what I decided to do is to take this cover off right here, and this cover is actually just pushes in there. There's little clips like this that hold it in, You just pry it and pop it out. It feels like it's going to break, but it didn't. So just be careful when you pull this face off. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out this screw and this screw so we can remove this here so we can take a look inside there. So let's continue with that. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but we'll try. Take this cover off. This cover is probably held in with those little clips again, so be careful, they do break sometimes. Just take your time. I've already broken quite a few of these, so we'll see how it goes. Whoop. There we go. Alright, same thing on the other side now. Now you can see up on the top, right up there, you see that little clip right there? We're going to try to get that out on the other side now too. Hopefully without breaking it. Alright. See? That's what those clips look like. Alright, next thing we're going to do now is we're going to come in here and we're going to take this this assembly out right here. It looks like it should come right out. So let's take out a couple of more screws and let's see if we can pull this head unit out. Sorry about that being crooked for you guys. Be very surprised if it just comes out as easy as it looks like. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. We are going to have to take some more stuff out of here, so let me just take out the CD player here, which is going to be 2 screws here, and we'll just move that out of the way. But first, let me get my glasses so I can see what I'm doing in there. Okay, maybe before we do that, we're going to take out a couple of other screws I see up top right here. There's a screw in there and a screw in there, so let's do that first. These screws usually fall, so be careful with them. A little better now. Okay, we're going to take that screw out too. See if we can move this so we can get it out of here. I don't think so, but we're going to try. You know what? I can already see in the back here. Let me just take a peek. Don't go nowhere. Oh my gosh. Look at that. You talk about luck. You see that cable right there? It pulled out of its clip. That's the problem with this thing. See that cable in there? Alright, let's pull this out so I can get in there and get my hand on it, and I'll see if I can get you in there with us. Alright, let's see. We are going to have to get this head unit out of here, so... take a look in the back again and see what it looks like. Yep. You see the cable? Let's get you in there so you can see a little better. You see the cable pop right out of that bracket right there? That's the problem. So let's make sure that that cable moves the way it's supposed to. And we're probably going to wind up... Oh, no, I see it. It's snapped down there. That little plastic ear down there is broken. See it? All right, let me get this head unit out, and we'll see what we're going to do. Okay, just got off the phone with the dealership, and the dealership tells me you have to change that entire head assembly, which my cost is $428 and change. So I did talk to the customer. They almost had a heart attack. So we're going to take that head unit out and see if we can epoxy it back together and buy them a little bit of time. So all right, let's continue inside, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, what we got to do is we got to take that panel off right in there so we can gain access to it. These are actually just push pins inside here that lock it in place too. So you have to get in here with a screwdriver and just pull it. Get your fingers under it, and hopefully we can get this thing to pry up. All right, there we go. And then you have to pull it up and out, unplug it. Well, maybe we won't unplug it. We're just going to put it up on the top like that for now. And we're going to take out these two screws up on the top here. Just Phillips head screws again. So we'll take them out, so we can get a better view of what we're actually dealing with inside there. Main thing is we have to make sure that that cable is moving, because if you have a cable that's frozen, that'll break that head unit off where it fits into that plastic. So let's get this out of here and we'll see what it looks like. Okay. It doesn't come out as easy as it looks like. Down on the bottom, I don't know if you can see this, there's two more screws down here. We're going to take these screws out also. Just take your time with this car, or any car like this really, because you're dealing with a lot of plastic pieces here. I'm going to show you what happens frequently with all these plastic pieces here. You see these little tabs that pop in over here? Let's see where they are. You can't see it there, but I'll show you. Up underneath here, right here, there's a little plastic tabs right there, and on the other side you want to make sure you don't break them off, so otherwise you won't be able to get it back in correctly. And now we'll just pull out this radio assembly here, just so we can get in there and get to the head unit. I'm going to try to leave everything connected. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but let's take a peek in there and see what we're dealing with. All right. Now, you know what? We are going to unplug the radio so we can gain access to this. Otherwise, we're going to be farting around over here, and we could do more damage. So we're just going to unplug the cable in the back like that. And in the back of the radio, right here, we're just going to push this in. And we'll unplug the radio itself. Sometimes easier said than done. Just like that. And okay, that's one. And we're just going to put them out of the way. Same thing here. So now we have the radio itself unplugged. So now we can get the unit hopefully up and out of here. But I think we're going to have to we're gonna take this whole assembly out here. Then you're gonna have to turn the key to the on position to get the shifter to move. Let's just take a look. Well, you know what? I don't want to turn the key to the on position, so what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a small little screwdriver, and down on the bottom, I don't know if you can see this, right down over here, we're just going to take that little tab out. That little tab right there. Sometimes easier said than done, but we're going to take that out so we can shift this into gear, which, had I known, I would have done this earlier. Alright, that's not coming out of there. Okay. We're just going to shift this into, I'm going to shift this into gear right now, so hang on a second. Okay. Now, I just want to point this out to you. Make sure the car is either got the wheels chocked or your park and brake up, because the car will roll. And we're just going to move this like this now. And we're just going to leave this back further like this so we can get the head unit out of there. You want to be careful, you don't want to damage anything in here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole unit out of here. We're going to unplug these plugs in the back, and we're going to take this head unit out. We're going to bring it over on the bench, because this piece right here is what broke. So, all right, let me unplug this, and we're going to take this whole thing apart. Now again, you know, you're just pushing these little tabs in and just rock it, unplug it. Same thing on the other side right here. Alright, and we're going to take that cable out that's in over here. So we don't make the brake any worse than it already is. And there's one more. There's a light that's actually plugged in over here. And it doesn't make any difference there. Okay. And we're just going to unplug this other cable here. We're going to hold on to this clip so we don't lose it. We'll take this cable here out of the way, just like this, so we can take this head unit out. Alright, now make sure you just leave everything the way it is. And we're going to go over on the workbench, and we're going to talk about how we're going to fix this temporarily right here, because that's a lot of money to spend for just this plastic little piece of crap here. So, alright, let's go over on the bench. We're going to get some epoxy, and we're going to epoxy this back together. So, come on, let's take a walk back over. Okay, now remember I talked to you about this over here, checking this cable to make sure it's okay. And you can see this cable is actually functioning correctly. So, alright, let's get over to the bench, and we're going to continue over there. Okay. And the way we're going to do this, we use, on this one, we're going to use some quick drying epoxy. And what you do is you do equal parts. This is actually a 15-minute epoxy. It dries in 15 minutes. And you have to put down equal parts of each one. Mix them together thoroughly. Now normally I wouldn't epoxy something like this back together, I would just change it, but $428 or $423, the customer almost had a heart attack. So we're going to bide a little bit of time with this, and we're probably going to wind up trying to get a either a used unit for them or something but this will give them a little bit of time to decide what they're going to do. Alright, what we're going to do, we did wipe off any of the grease that was on there, because epoxy won't hold on anything that's greasy. So we're just going to put some epoxy like this, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So we get the epoxy actually right into the crack itself. So we'll put epoxy on both sides of the brake, just like that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull that out a little bit and get some epoxy inside the joint itself where it actually broke without doing any further damage. There and there. And then we're going to I'm going to put a lot of epoxy on here, more than I normally would, because this is actually going to be very stressed. A lot of stress takes place in here, so we're going to put a good amount. You want to make sure you don't get any epoxy down where the cable has got to ride, because that cable has to be in there and it has to slide freely. And we're going to put a little bit. Okay, let me get a light over here so you can see. See? We got all the epoxy on there right now. And then we're going to let that sit a little bit and dry. And once it dries, then we'll go back inside and we'll put it back together. So let's give this a little time to dry, and then we'll come right back. Okay, now that we have the epoxy is all nice and dry, we're going to take this clip here, and we're just going to move it up out of here for now, because we're going to clip it back in once it's back in the car itself. Alright, so we're going to take this out for now. Don't lose it, because we are going to need to put this clip back in there. Remember, it holds the cable in, and then we'll snap it down in place. Alright, so we'll keep that on the side for now. And then we're going to reconnect everything that we previously took out in the order that we took it out. Remember, we didn't put this one in first, we did this one last. So we're going to turn it over, and we're going to put this bottom one in first over here. And then we're going to bring it back over to where it previously came out, just like this. I'll bring you in here in a second and I'll show you. Alright, now we're going to put our plugs back in and we're going to reconnect it. So let me just change my gloves and we'll come right back. Okay, so now we have all the plugs plugged in the back of the head itself. And we're just going to make sure that these work the way they're supposed to, which it is. Now I just want to show you one other thing I did just to... Because once this is broken, you can't really fix it. You can temporarily repair it, but it's not a permanent repair. So what I did, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, down inside here, alright, you see where that cable comes into where the epoxy is? I put the zip ties over the top of it just to temporarily hold it until this customer decides what they're going to do, but for now it works just the way it's supposed to. I'll show you. See, works perfectly. All right, so instead of boring you with how to put this all back together, I'm going to put it back together, and then we'll come back and we'll test it to make sure it's okay. Okay. We're not going to put the radio or anything back in until we make sure that everything works just the way it's supposed to. So for now, we're just putting the speed on the temperature control head back in temporarily. Now we're going to start it up. Ooh, nice fan belts, huh? Okay, so now what we're going to do, it's going to be hard to tell with it coming out of here, but I'll try to show you anyway. And you can see it's blowing out of there at about 80 degrees. The car is cold. And now we're just going to turn the knob to the cold side. And you can see, I could feel the change in the air already, but you can see it's coming down the way it's supposed to. So temporarily it's going to wind up being okay for the customer, but it only is a temporary repair. It's not going to last forever. And I will inform the customer that, and I will make sure that's written on the bill too, so we don't have any issues further on down the road, because I'm confident this job is going to come back, and we are going to wind up having to change that that head once the customer gets the extra funds. All right, so all right, let's continue. We'll put it back together, and we'll wrap this job up and get it out the door, and that's it. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with how to put that back together. You basically know you're just going to reverse the procedure that you did to take it apart. Make sure all your plugs snap in the back of the radio and in the back of the, and I think there's a cassette player, not cassette, the CD player in here. Make sure everything plugs back in. Make sure you have your antenna plugged back in, or your radio's not going to work. That's it, we're all done. All right, any questions or comments, you need to talk to me about anything, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody about anything. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. And I'm sure that someday we're going to get this job back, and we're going to make another video of replacing it the right way. All right, thanks again. See you on the next one.